Let's see, and Land of Dawn, here we go for game one of El Clasico. The song Raja will go head-to-head with the White Tigers.
Sang Raja, indeed. And speaking of which, the mid lane control right here, a Grok and a Farsa, is going to be so annoying to push against, and we'll see what RRQ can do with this advantage, because with the jungle Valentina, we have no idea how dangerous, how aggressive they can be, and in the early game, we can see that the burst damage coming in from RRQ is something that Evos Legends are trying to respect.
You know, with the Festival of Blood as well here from Banana, so its job desk, it seems like it's quite clear here. It's trying to tank and also provide damage with that fighter emblem. Let's see though, will Cyclops Dreams, the tankier members from side of Evos Legends, can somehow withstand and provide cover for Brands, potentially for Hijome as well.
You know, we talked a lot about this Brody pick, Mirko. We were talking about what potentially can even win against Melissa. And one of the possibilities or options we discussed was having a stronger laner like a Brody. But you said that he gets completely shut down by this Melissa.
He does. It's going to be very hard for the Brody to lane. The only way he can win this is if he gets level 4 and he goes for a full all-in. But even then, right here, you can see the zoning coming in. The Brands is actually going to be able to bait Skylar to Hijome, who's actually chosen a pretty interesting path. Usually, we do see the mid laners roaming around to the XP lane to get level 4, but they want to trade up top.
It's a very quick turtle play being used by RRQ, but Skylar suffers as a result. Vin comes in to back him up though, and it will be Evos Legends backing away. And we talked about this, the counter setup, the response, shutting down any kind of aggressive lane from their opponent. This is what RRQ likes to do.
Well, it seems like Evos Legends has a no clear compensation after that neutral objective loss. And RRQ, they're setting up top side. Let's see. Let's see here.
Well charged and the feathered airstrike. You gotta give them some silence there because it was a complete ambush. And this is how you win the lane. Do not make it a 1v1. Brody cannot win in the 1v1, so you bring a rock and a bird lady.
A bird lady. Just never make it about the lane, man. Make it about the whole team. This is a 5v5 team game after all, and RRQ, they're making sure that Evos Legends understand that. They cannot rely only on Brands alone to try and be significant in this game.
A very good setup there by RRQ top side. A very good, somehow a planned setup as well. That wild charge and Farsa combo is, yeah, insta-deleted Brands. And it seems like now RRQ with the gold lead, they're able to somehow spread their grounds more. Potentially top side here, but Evos Legends with that kill top side, they're also setting things up better perhaps. Let's see.
Even in the front to back, it is going to be RRQ actually has a bit of an edge here because of the Brody. Sure, you can utilize him as just a damage dealer, as an executioner, but in this kind of draft, he might be actually the utility gold laner. He's going to be in the back line, providing support to Clay whenever Ling wants to jump in with the Tempest of Blaze. And even in the bottom side of the map, we can see that Banana on the Benedetta has been doing pretty good at just trying to neutralize the glue. Meanwhile, Vin with wild charge there, not able to steal the orange buff away, and hits the wall instead.
But it forces Taz to use that retribution, right? So again, with that information, RRQ will able to take the second neutral objective comfortably. Let's see.
Here at Taz, no retry. Vin jumps in, and that's going to be Albert who actually finds the retribution. Taz a Ling now with no purple buff in the 4th minute of the game.
Vin on this Grok, man, is not nearly as aggressive as the Kufra, but he's making it work using the tankiness to try and take away a lot of playmaking advantage and using the crowd control immunity to still ensure that Taz can't have any solution, can't stop Vin from actually getting into his jungle. And the Talon's prediction really is the same with the tone of the game, at least for now.
Wow, unanimous vote here in our first game. And again, Vin just forcing that retribution button on Taz. Sure, no neutral objective on site just yet, but it's very annoying.
Very right, and again, why the Rock does so well against the Lolita is because of the power of nature. It's always a really good pick when you have a Lolita on the enemy team. You can open up the map pretty freely, you can't be punished a lot, and on top of that, you have that wild charge. Like Arashi mentioned, something reliable to cancel out the Numenon Blast, and you can already see with Albert as well, they're just poking them down very comfortably. And that's the real world manipulation. Popped in by Hijime. Not taking Albert low at all. They're all good right now, and RRQ are going to try to push the pace with a siege early on. 5th minute of the game. 5-man rotation up top to get the first turret of the game.
And look at this movement, man. They have the advantage. They want to get something more. They went for the pickoff, but when they don't get it, all they do is isolate one part of the map away from Evos Legends, the top turret, and ensure that it gets taken for free. Evos can't get close and they cannot contest. So RRQ is just playing the macro game so well as well. But look at Taz trying to find some compensation, trying to use the mobility to try and get something more because he has out of options right now.
Not enough just yet, though. It seems like Banana will be able to clear that bot side, and Vin again trying to harass Taz in this purple buff. Taz again forced to use the Retribution.
Vin with a wild charge once again, a good bait for the Retri, but he is forced to use a flicker here in the 6th minute. Right as the turtle spawns in, no Retribution for Taz. They're looking for it. Dreams now in the midst of it all. Jumping in. Banana doing the same thing right now. He jumps in with the eye for 9. Not getting the stun down just yet, but that's the Illuminati Blast connecting onto 3. Cyclops flickering forward. Taz finding Vin, but Albert will still be able to secure the turtle. Play is going to fall. Skylar now versus World jumps in once again. Has the stun. Dream's going to be taken low and taken down. Skylar tries to run away. Cyclops pops the split. And RRQ will still be able to grasp onto that gold lead right now as they're trying to siege down below.
It was a great fight for both teams here. RRQ, though, still getting that perfect turtle here in Game 1. And Evos Legends, sure, they got to kill a couple of kills, but was it worth it?
They got 3 kills, which is nice, but then they lose the turret in the bot side as well. One of their win conditions was making sure that they can set up for these neutral objectives, and with RRQ being so dominant and so dangerous right now in the early game, they can't really do so. And for now, we haven't seen the Lord just yet. We haven't seen the new, more aggressive, more dangerous Lord that can take down multiple turrets. So once RRQ get to the point where that Lord is available, you can expect Evos Legends to be a bit more desperate about it, because you cannot let go a single Lord right now, depending of course on the clock of the game. But for Evos against a team like RRQ, that is something they want to avoid at all costs.
And now you can already see once again as the Feather Airstrike popped in, Cyclops taken really low, and Albert has the real world manipulation. He's going to be able to steal. Nope, doesn't get it. Taz actually is able to win the Retribution battle right there. Vin now able to flags, and it's a petrified by Banana. Combo through with a wild charge from Vin. Cyclops taken low. The mid lane turret is going to go. RRQ have solidified a 3,000 gold lead with immense aggression early game.
The song Raja, they're just unstoppable already in minute number 8. Item-wise here, Arashi, what stands out?
What stands out is a pure hammer along with the BOD, so a lot of damage and penetration coming in for Skylar, and they're on the hunt for Taz, who was able to steal the purple buff, but at what cost?
Uh-oh, Taz now with the pinch poise is able to buy a little bit more time, but Clay is going to follow through. He has the damage, but the airstrike doesn't connect, dodged away from the Tempest of Blades. Skylar waiting for the flicker, the wild charge connects, but there's no one to follow it up. Taz still running away right now, it's asking to be Clay, who flickers forward and finds the stun onto Brands as well. Now Banana, in the midst of it all, the goal is going to be right there, and the now Blast connects onto 3. A mistake by RRQ, but Albert is looking for more. Cyclops gets taken low, and Albert will be able to back away a 2 for 2 in the end.
Goodness me, can you stop Skylar? He seems, Arashi, just to find the right positioning to deal the damage effectively.
He is great, but what is even greater is RRQ going straight for the Lord, knowing that they have used everything to try and take Taz out. They lost members, but they secure the Lord, which makes everything completely worth it. As Albert picks up a Divine Glaive, that means that Cyclops and Dreams are no longer safe from the Valentina burst damage.
Let's take a look at the replay right here, presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A34, A54 5G.
It was a flicker wild charge from Vin that stops Taz in his tracks, and Clay is flickering to ensure that the jungle gets taken out. Initially, it looks weird, because usually we expect Clay to be the more calm, calculative one, but understanding that they were going to go for the Lord, that makes everything make complete sense. They're trying to stall for the Lord in the mid lane to try and get the waves pushing at the same time right now, and Evos, remember, we talked about the high ground, they have Hijime, but he's nowhere as ahead as Albert or Clay.
You know what, finally we can see again that Clay likes to somehow look for the outplays, look for the Campbell plays with calculation, of course. he has been playing it too safe, but now in this game in El Clasico, it seems like he readjusted, being that aggressive mid laner, trying to beat Hijome in that head-to-head.
Looking at the players' gold by UBS Gold right here, Skylar, Albert, and Banana. Man, the man we haven't seen in a long time, just really making it work for his team on this Benedetta. Taz isn't far behind as well as Brands, but it's quite the stark contrast, about 1K of difference. So Brands is definitely not out of the game just yet. The late game Melissa is definitely still a problem if RRQ do not focus him down. So I think right now, at this midway point, if they don't use all their power spikes to ensure that that Brands gets shut down on that Melissa, Evos then can turn it around.
They certainly can right here. Again, it's only a 5,000 gold lead here. RRQ have more map control, but it doesn't mean that Evos Legends cannot come back. Brands is still waiting for that item power spike. Taz, oh my goodness! Gets out with the time of the blades. Vin just missing with the wild charge, barely there, but the purple buff was stolen away by Albert already. He left the small purple buff camp there. Just doesn't want it to reset. And just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, 2 RRQ members and 3 Evos Legends members have been selected to play and to represent Indonesia for SEA Games 2023.
It's going to be very interesting indeed, seeing all 5, well, most of the national team plays in this El Clasico. It's going to see here, tempo has gone down, Arashi, 25 seconds on the Lord, and it seems like still RRQ just dominating on all departments.
Tempo has gone down because Evos Legends cannot escape from their own base. RRQ is getting full control and taking all the resources away from the jungle. Taz is level 14 and Albert is so far ahead, and now with a Holy Crystal as well, Branch needs to be very careful. He can get absolutely shredded, absolutely bursted down if he mispositions here. Lord is up, but Vin is already using this Grok again and again to get info, to zone people away, and if Evos Legends misstep, if they put the wrong player in the front right here, this could be fatal.
See, it's not just a setup here from both teams, right? RRQ, they do not want to also overcommit on towards this Lord. They reset the Lord here, waiting for the whereabouts of Evos Legends members. Take a look at Brands sitting pretty in the back side there. Let's see though, an engage might happen very, very soon.
Remember, Lolita is a reactive kind of roamer. He needs to wait for the setup from the team. So the initial engage will have to come through side concert, or maybe even Hijome with the real world manipulation. Dreams needs to find a proper position here, and my god, it's Hijome who takes the purple buff. A little bit of a mistake from the side of Evos Legends that was forced upon from Vin with a beautiful barrier to put some pressure down.
Well, all the attention was on that purple buff. Look at Banana pushing up the far side of the lanes. This means RRQ has a man advantage. You see Taz on top. They go for the Lord right now. They might have to force a fight right here to get some advantage.
Vin opening up the map with Power of Nature, once again utilizing the Grok anti-CC. Dream's gonna be poked down right there. That's gonna be Valentina securing the retribution. Now a lot of resources popped in. Sycon's gonna be able to find 4 members. And Eliminate Blast will not be able to connect onto anyone. Albert will be brought back to the team by Sycons with the split. And Evos Legends have found a 1-for-1 trade. Valentina for the enhanced Lord.
Is it worth it, Arashi? Evos Legends now, take a look at them. They want that tier 2 as well. They might get it actually.
I think with the Lord coming in, it's going to be a bit too difficult. But look at Vin. Look at Vin waiting for an opportunity to try and make something happen here.
No wild charge just yet. The Power of Nature gets popped in. For the airstrike, will be able to connect onto Sycots. As Brands buys the Haas Claws, getting some more sustainability. Hijome is able to escape from the final blow as the Lord continues to march down in the mid lane. Poked down by Evos Legends. They're not letting it march. They're not letting it charge into their base turret. They clear it, and Evos Legends survive again.
With Albert's death though, take a look. The outer turret, mid side and top side has been taken down. So Evos Legends, with losing, even though they lost the Lord, they managed to grab more ground after that. RRQ from the 5,000 on down only to 4.
It's still, I think it's still pretty good for Evos. I'm surprised RRQ played that safe. Yes, they were down 1 man, and it's a big deal at 15 minutes of the game, but I feel like they could have done a bit more with the Lord as a 5th teammate. But looking at the items here, Brands is once again, Mirko, going for that 4th item has Claws, which is dangerous with a Valentina and a Farsa on the side of the opponent. So I would say this is a bit a bit risky, but he feels he can make it work. He feels like his team can provide enough coverage. So it's a bit of a gamble. We'll see if it pays out. Hijime, though, with the Brutus Breastplate, will be able to kite back a bit more efficiently as Taz gets jumped on, gets stunned up.
Another airstrike as well, 2-3. Massive ultimates popped in. RQ now with the resource disadvantage will need to be a bit safer, but this is my question right now. 15 minutes in the game, RQ, their composition is built for mostly that mid-game. That mid-game power spike is where you really feel RQ's pressure. As the game goes later and later, Melissa Brands is going to keep on climbing in terms of power, and against Skylar on the Brody, he's gonna fall off.
When it comes down to it, I feel like it matters down to the man with already 5 assists to his name. It's gonna be Vin, right? With that wild charge, perhaps baiting Melissa, finding the right openings as well, and perhaps with the help of Banana, it can penetrate and force that go-away to be popped early, and that is when the green light for RQ just really go ham. But let's see another invade.
Them just poking them down. Banana getting a good eye for an eye, but Taz actually with an interesting build here, going also glass cannon Arashi with a corrosion side.
He wants to carry, he wants to be able to destroy that backline of RQ. Technically the backline does not exist, and being too focused on the purple buff of Evos, now they have the lanes pushing up, they have a way to push it back out, but Taz already using the mobility on the far side, but RQ go for the objective. They are playing Lord-centric right here.
All resources are up. RQ, they decided to reset. Vin outside.
Beautiful concealed play out to Hijime with a wild charge, and the feather airstrike is right there to follow it up. Finn with a massive play, like you mentioned, but the Luminant Blast comes through. Clay has popped him in a truncheon, now is able to flicker out, but Psychot has mounted him and will be able to bring him back. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, base turret taken down by Taz as he rotates over. It's now Evos with a man advantage. Finn still waiting for the damage. Brand's gonna be knocked down, but Wind of Nature saves him right here. Alvin with the blades. Brand's still able to survive with the Hawk's Claws, and it's gonna be Taz who finds the kill. Skylar marching forward with Wind of Nature, but will be stunned, will be poked, and will fall as Brands is able to sustain back up. It's Taz who finds a double, and it's Evos who have completely turned around the game.
The White Tigers, they will not go down easily. And take a look at that. 5,000 gold lead, all down, diminished. Evos Legends, they're taking over.
Clay spawning out right now, but it might not be enough. Everyone from Evos, they're coming in, they're pushing the waves down, and they have now that big lord we've been talking about, and RRQ, like you mentioned, are not geared for this high ground, for this late game. That was an absolute disaster right there, trading in 1 kill for 4 members and the lord, as well as a base turret. That was just a complete oversight, and that is once again the win condition of Evos showing out, right? Being able to control and set up for these neutral objectives, and now Evos are the ones with all the cards trying to go for an end of the game.
Banana with a final blow, not onto the Lord. Now Dream's gonna be able to walk through. That's the wild charge connecting onto 2. Still, the real world inflation is right there. That's the anti-CC as RQ try to play with the front to back now with the Torn Apart Memory. Psychot will still be able to survive with the split play now. In the mid lane, trying to clear it out. Taz and Brands will be able to siege down that mid lane base turret. And it's Evos Legends now with a base turret lead. They have more map pressure to play with.
Wow, what an encounter by both teams here. No casualties, Arashi and Evos Legends. They managed now to establish 3,000 gold leads almost. But it seems like RRQ, they lost another turret in that mid side. So RRQ, it's a reset. And do you agree with what Mirko said here? In the late game, Evos Legends are better.
If you look at the pure DPS, the pure front to back, Evos Legends is better. But RRQ, if they can get their hands onto Brands, who right now, from the last time we've seen, does not have a lot of quote-unquote outplay items available, they can still come out on top. But the issue is, now with 2 base turrets down, that is just so unrealistic to expect. It's so difficult for them now to try and find a position where they have the time to be roaming around in the jungle of Evos Legends, potentially finding Brands alone or finding a clear pathway to jump onto Brands. If they try and engage from the forward, from the front, then there's no way that Brands is going to position far up enough for them to get an easy pickoff. We saw that happen in the previous fight, so they have to find a different way of approaching this.
You know what? It's getting really hot in here, Mirko and Arashi. Game 1 of El Clasico. And it's a back and forth game. 30 seconds on the next Lord. Evolved Lord, mind you. Now let's see here. This is going to be very crucial. Now, RQ, they can't just mess around and looking for team fights win. Also needs to provide cover somehow. And that is what quality I feel like it needs most here from the side of RQ. Evos Legends, their game plan, very clear. Protect brands at all costs.
I think it's opposite right now for RQ and Evos Legends, right? In a way where RQ needs to play for the Farsa. The Brody needs to play more of a utility, more of an executioner. It's Evos Legends doing the same thing, but Hijume is the one who is going to be providing the utility. Brands is the real back line. So it's technically Brands versus Clay.
Brands versus Clay, right? And it's DPS against burst damage. So for RRQ, they can poke around and use that range advantage to try and get something. But overall, in a prolonged fight, there's no way they match up to the late game Inspire Melissa. And you can see it from the previous base fight. With 2 members low from Evos Legends, RRQ could very easily have gone for a fight, but no. The moment Brands puts down that Muddles, everyone respects the damage potential and they back off. And looking at the items right here, Brands already have the Wind of Nature as well, so a bit less outplay potential for RRQ if they want to try and use perhaps the Torn Apart Memory to try and secure the kill. Right now, RRQ is going for the split push, which is a great choice here, considering that Evos Legends are also not a team that can engage reliably. So with Vin just being able to scout out for information, they can afford to send Banana away and maybe wait for a more profitable fight for this Lord.
Very high mobility, this Benedetta, it seems like. They're taking use of that. But information now, it's 4-1 rotation here from the side of Evos Legends. Will they commit to this Lord? And it seems like both teams now playing it rather safely here, just clearing the far lane.
Look at where Skylar is.
Yep.
I thought that Banana splitting makes a bit of sense, but Skylar is just going so far away from the Lord. I thought he was going to set up for a trap to try and pick off Taz, but he didn't even move up that aggressively, so that was an interesting choice. And I think Evos recognized that what's going on right here. We don't see RRQ, at least not the lot of them, near the Lord Pit. They must be somewhere else. What are they doing? And this uncertainty is what is causing them to just stall for a bit, just slow down and wait for something a bit more guaranteed.
Yeah, also do note here, Mirko and Arashi, a lot of Immortal Tools already bought and active from side of Evos Legends, meaning they're ready for a fight. They're ready because they have multiple extra life. RRQ though, it seems like only Banana and Vin has Skylar. Okay, so equal amount of Immortals here, it seems like. Technically, they're ready for war. They're just waiting for that one right opening.
Yeah, remember also here that Skylar has the Wind of Nature, right? So with the Immortality, if he sells it, he's probably going to go for something like a Rose Gold instead of a Winter Truncheon if he respawns with a second life again. And right now, he actually sells something for the DHS. I don't know if that's the boots or if he sold the Immortality, because that is a big item to be going for here. If he actually sold one of his defensive items for the DHS, it's going to be scary. I think it might just be the Wind of Nature that he sold right there so that he can activate the Winter Truncheon when he dies, when his Immortality gets popped.
Could be it. And the Queen's Wings also has been built up for Psychot, so he wants to be, I guess, the face of Evos, technically face checking into all these bushes and being able to withstand the bulk of the burst damage using the damage reduction coming in from those Queen's Wings. Right now, it's just a bit of a stalemate here, which is interesting. Usually when the teams slow down like this, RRQ are the ones making the first move, but with a Grok, with the CC immunity for Vin, they're just able to find out a lot more information, and Evos, they don't know. They have to use Psychots and send him out, and that could be the mistake. So now they are the ones making a bit of a play though, sending 3 towards the top side.
Will they commit to this though? It seems like they're just poking around again, trying to find perhaps the main damage dealer. Of course, Clay, or even Skylar, but take a look at Banana.
Be very careful here, he can get poked down. But again, I think it comes down to just the dynamic of the compositions here, right? For Evos Legends, the way they've been able to actually win in these team fights has been through reacting, through RQ's proactivity. It's always RQ who makes the first step, like you mentioned, Gani and Arashi. But Evos Legends, with their composition, they're happy to get engaged on. They will have a lot of resources to play around with the Numenal Blast as well. Where Vin now, he needs to swap a little bit to that reactive style. Because up against the Lolita, I think his main job here should be to cancel out that Numenon Blast to give his team some more space to play with in these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, he can't also cancel with that barrier, right? So with the barrier spawn, it seems like it can cancel out. Oh my god, another engage. Oh, take a look at the damage.
Well, it's a late game, man.
Forcing already that wild charge play defensively. That's an information. Will Evos Legends capitalize though, or will they again play it safe?
One sort of front control down for RRQ, and Evos, they just go straight at it. And it's a game of patience, but Evos now going with the concealed play. They might find something.
Skylar going to be able to flicker out, but Vin is going to be caught here, isolated from the team. Has the flicker, now pops into conceal, but the burn is able to catch him. Now it's going to be the Numenon Blast, and the RWM popped in. That's one member down. The frontliner for the side of RRQ as Banana jumps in with a Petrify, but there is no follow-up from the side of RRQ. Miniwaves in position for RRQ on the bottom side. Brands going to be tasked to micromanage it, to clear it out as Evos Legends set their sights on the Evolved Lord.
This is the problem with RRQ as well. They can only rely on Vin, and once the wild charge is down, they really can't do anything. Banana isn't nearly as tanky, and you can see it right now, getting chunked down very low. And Hijime almost picks him up. It's going to be a free Lord for Evos Legends.
RRQ, they will not contest here, realizing that Vin is down and Banana was poked to very low HP as well. They do not want to gamble this. They opt for that defense in the 27th minute of the game now. Will this be a GG?
With the endless battle, we'll see Athena shield there by Brands popped in. That's going to be the winner Truncheon buying the immortality in time as well, as that's going to be Taz, who's forced to use the Tempest Blades defensively. Brands with no Athena shield. Albert going to be able to dish out some damage onto Brands, but he jumps back in now with the Inspire as well. He pops it in. Banana and Skylar able to get out from that one with a nature. Banana now jumping in once again, trying to clear the Enhanced or the Evolved Lord. And the 27-minute Finn going to be able to deal a good job here in the back with the Wild Charge, buying some time. Psychos going to get poked out as Feather Ishbek comes down onto Brands in the back line. Once again, Skylar popping into Tornado Pop Memory. They have defended for now. Brands buying the Immortality, getting some more defense to play with as Evos Legends rotate around to the top side base turret. They will be able to claim another, but it's RRQ who live once again.
Brilliant defense, and now they're trying to open up more space. What happened there, Rashi? Why Evos Legends? Why didn't they pull the trigger?
I guess they want to play it safe, man. They know RRQ is a team that's dangerous, and keep in mind, we talked about how Evos are all about re-engaging, right? Playing defensively and reactively, and now trying to push for that base. It's just a bit of a unfamiliar situation for them. They were trying to back up the Lord, and we see that Dreams even used the Numenon Blast aggressively. And he did land it on, I believe, Clay was one of the members getting stunned on there. But afterwards, they just lacked the burst damage to try and secure the kills after getting everyone low. And being so close to the base, RRQ are able to actually heal up and go straight back at it. So now we have yet another extended game, possibly going past 30 minutes. If you take a look at the items right here, you can see adjustments and changes being made. Wind of Nature back again in the inventories of both the gold laners. But for Brands, it's the same thing. He just does not have... I think he has the Athena shield earlier, actually, so he stretched it out.
Seems like here already adjustments, right? Immortal on cooldown, do the switcheroo. RRQ and Evos Legends still, though, gold-wise, it doesn't matter. 4,000, but RRQ, their space is, of course, is lacking here. 30 seconds to the next Lord, potentially the last Lord. Now, RRQ, what brilliant defense though, right? Clay popping off, just taking care of the Lord first. And I feel like for the most part, Evos Legends, they were hesitating to somehow really commit. They also do not want to lose out on that team fight. They weren't convinced, even with the Lord.
I think at this point of the game, Albert has just been tunnel visioning on the Numenon Blast and the real world manipulation. But honestly, looking at it, I feel like the split gives him so much value as well. If he's able to zone Brands away in the back line, just on this Valentina, or isolate some of the members from the side of Evos Legends, it could be massive for them in the team fight. Now, I think that the timing of the split is going to be tough though. Where to go for it, when to go for it, because Evos Legends right now have the Lord to play with. And if Albert overextends just a bit, he's definitely going to be punished.
Oof. Albert, man, he has a lot of damage right here, but on the Demon Slayer emblem, he just was not able to actually find a lot of these big burst damage, big plays, because he tries to be the actual source of long distance damage coming in from the side RRQ, but with how reactive Evos is in their playstyle, he's always in danger.
That's the RWM right there, locking Albert down, and that's the Immortality bot right in time. Albert gonna be able to escape for a bit, but he gets slain by Taz, as Cyclops is gonna be able to run away. That's Banana in the back line, actually with Clay shutting Brands down. Banana with the eye for an eye onto 3 members. Taz with a Melting War purchase. Banana now still with Winter Truncheon, buying some time as he will be slain. But it's gonna be Clay once again as the main damage dealer for the side of RRQ, doing a lot. Brands is down, and with that, RRQ have bought so much more time.
It's a 2-for-1 Evos Legends. Will they go for this gamble without Brands though? Will they commit to this lore? Take a look at Lolita top side here, trying to somehow give the whereabouts as well, perhaps for Skylar, which also give information that Evos, they will pull the trigger on this lore perhaps.
The secondary carry for Evos is still up. It is Taz, who is also the jungler, so that's very convenient for Evos Legends right now. They can still go for the fight. It's still a 4v3 for their team, and they can keep going at it, but they're taking the Lord very slowly here. Esfin going to do something, probably going for the steal, but it won't be allowed by Evos.
No, he pops in the wild charge, but his immortality will be popped in. The Luminant Blast is going to come through with a feather airstrike by Clay to try to save his roamer, but Evos Legends will secure the second evolved Lord of the game. 32 minutes in, the El Clasico.
They managed to defend 3 Lords already. Well, 2 Lords. Will they be able to defend this potentially last one, Arashi?
Without Vin in the picture, it's going to be a bit difficult. There's no one to try and walk around the sides and present a dive into that back line. With Hujime already getting a lot of items, having a lot of damage, Evos go for it.
Banana with the final blow right here. He does get the Petrify down as the Torn Part Memory will come through, but Taz with a perfect positioning with Tempest of Blades. Evos Legends will be able to come back fully in this game, securing the first one in the series.
With